Vikings-Eagles, Thursday night football, about to break down all of the best ways that you guys can make some money in showdown contests on DraftKings, single game contests on FanDuel, breaking down the slate with the help of the NFL package here over at Stokastic.com. So I've already run out some lineups here for DraftKings, run them through our Sims tool, and going to be doing it for FanDuel as well on this video. If you could do me a favor as you're watching this, if you find this content helpful, like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Appreciate it a whole bunch. And if you want to sign up for our NFL package, which includes our contest generator, so you could build the lineups right on our site, the Sims tool, you could simulate all those lineups. And then in addition to stuff like our player projections, ownership projections, and everything over at Stokastic.com, all included in our football package. I've got a link included for that below. But let's look at the results because I know that's what you guys are here for. And already built out DraftKings lineups. And we'll do the FanDuel lineups right here on screen as well. So favored in my top 150. And the number one overall projected lineup that I have in terms of highest projected ROI, it has Kirk Cousins at the captain spot, and then DeAndre Swift, Jalen Hurts, Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne, Quez Watkins. I'm pretty interested to see what ends up popping up as far as the Eagles' run game goes, especially because no Kenneth Gainwell, who maybe unsurprisingly ended up playing a workhorse role in the first week of the season. We had heard from coaches during the offseason that was going to be the case, but still, I wasn't totally expecting to be as dominant towards Kenneth Gainwell as far as the snap share is what it was. He's going to be out for Thursday Night Football, so we'll see what that means for the backfield. But my number one projected lineup here does have DeAndre Swift in it. If we look at the lineups that are expected to be duped the most, none of these ended up being my top 150 ROI lineups, but the lineup here I have projected to be duped the most in large field tournaments is Jalen Hurts at the captain, then A.J. Brown, Alexander Mattison, DeAndre Swift, Dallas Goedert, and Jake Elliott. Let's go and look at some of the exposures of the individual players I got the most to, and yeah, no real surprise here. Jalen Hurts is in 60% of lineups in the flex, and then 30% in the captain. So 90% of my lineups of my top 150 do contain Jalen Hurts in some form. He's also my most rostered captain as well as my most rostered flex play. Talked about the Eagles running back situation. Yeah, DeAndre Swift actually ended up in half of my lineups here at the flex. And then 22% of captains. So yeah, about 3/4 of the lineups have DeAndre Swift. Who's the third most rostered captain? Justin Jefferson. So Hurts, Swift, Jefferson is the top three captain options. Other flex plays I'm getting to a good amount. Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson here as well. Quez Watkins, Alexander Mattison. Let's see if there's any contrarian plays that I got well overweight to the field too. So as far as single digit goes, DeAndre Swift is somewhat contrarian as a captain. Vikings defense I have some exposure to. CJ Ham I have 6% of, which if you're looking for like a super low owned punt play to save some salary with, got CJ Ham here, only projected for 5% ownership. But overall, players I'm most overweight to: Quez Watkins, Jalen Hurts, DeAndre Swift, getting to a good amount of Eagles defense as well. And defenses have reigned supreme so far on these showdown slates. Players that I'm underweight to on DK: Devontae Smith, Jordan Addison, Rashad Penny. Maybe the Penny one changes a little bit later in the day. Maybe we get some other news about what the Eagles running back usage might be that could end up altering our projections. But at least as of right now, not getting to very much of Rashad Penny as a value option. Let's go ahead and build some lineups for FanDuel now. That was the DraftKings overlook. And then also we have Owner's Box in here as well, partner we're working with. So if you guys want to build lineups on Owner's Box, do that in here as well. And let's make sure I have the right slate selected. All right, build out the lineups for FanDuel and see what different ends up popping up. FanDuel compared to DraftKings, I do assume that we're still going to end up seeing a lot of Jalen Hurts in these lineups. I still assume we're going to be getting to a lot of DeAndre Swift, but we'll see in a second here where these lineups end up being finished. Typically looking anywhere from like 30 to 60 seconds to build 10,000 lineups. And there we go. These are all built out. Now just click the simulate button. And while I'm on this, let me check for the FanDuel big tournament today. What is the payout to first place? So I could change that within here. So that'll alter the payout structure. So the big tournament on FanDuel is 20% to first place. So I'll select 20% and then simulate the lineups. The ones that are in here, by the way, from before, just those were the DraftKings lineups. So if you go back and forth between the contest generator, the pre-contest simulator, you'll see the last set of lineups that you had simmed will show up there. So my DraftKings lineups were there. Now we'll see what ends up popping up here most often. As for the big tournament on FanDuel, it is a $9 buy and $1 million prize pool and 200K to first place. So that was why I selected the 20% to first. Now go ahead and select the top 150 lineups. And just because the top FanDuel GPP is 20% to first place, might be getting me some FanDuel lineups, not quite as contrarian as the DK ones, but we shall see. Number one overall projected lineup for me on FanDuel in terms of highest ROI. It's Jalen Hurts at the MVP. Eagles defense, Quez Watkins, Justin Jefferson, and DeAndre Swift. I see another one here with the Eagles defense, another with the Eagles defense. Eagles defense here as well. So seems like we're going to be getting to a lot of the Eagles defense in this run of lineups. Most duped lineup over on FanDuel. This one duped massively. Also uses all the salary. Jalen Hurts, Greg Joseph, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, DeAndre Swift. So full Eagle stack with the Vikings kicker. And that lineup, just duped a mass amount of times. I wouldn't be shocked if that is one of the highest cash rates of any lineups in here. But the overall ROI is just dragged down by the amount of times that it was duped. Exposures, a ton of DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift popping up here in 64% of lineups at the flex. I wonder if we got any captain lineups with him. Not quite as much on FanDuel. 8.7% MVP lineups with DeAndre Swift on FanDuel, but I'm getting to him the most in the flex spot there, 64%. Jalen Hurts showing up as the predominant captain. About half of my top projected lineups do have Jalen Hurts at captain. Let's see. And then at flex, 29%. So about 82% exposure here to Jalen Hurts on FanDuel. Got to 90% of him on DraftKings. So looks like I'm going to be rooting for Jalen Hurts in tonight's game. Eagles defense showing up in 41% of my top lineup. So a ton of the Eagles defense. And then as far as the kickers go, Jake Elliott in 21%. Greg Joseph in only 13% of lineups. Other options here, Kirk Cousins showing up in a good amount of lineups. Quez Watkins, I'm way overweight too on FanDuel. So this looks like a really strong contrarian play. Quez Watkins was getting to him a good amount on DK, but Watkins over on DK was projected for some ownership. Nothing crazy, but still is expected to at least be in more lineups than what he is on FanDuel. Only 6.6% ownership projected to Quez Watkins, and he is in 1/4 of my top projected lineups. That looks like a really good contrarian play. One of the top leverage options across either FanDuel or DraftKings. Looks like getting to Quez Watkins on FanDuel as a flex play. As for players I am underweight to here, we've got maybe not fair to say underweight to Jalen Hurts in the flex just because I got to so much from him in the captain spot, but underweight to A.J. Brown, underweight to Devontae Smith. So what does that mean for all these Jalen Hurts lineups? Means going to be rooting for rushing touchdowns from Jalen Hurts, that or dump off past DeAndre Swift that he brings to the house. Underweight also to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith as captains. Ty Chandler not really getting any exposure to, although he's not expected to be all that popular. So those are some of the players that I'm underweight to here over on FanDuel. And then once again, we'll look over at some of the top lineups, some of the dupes. Kind of interested to see what ended up popping up here because some of them, even though they're massively duped, a couple of them did pop up in my top projected lineups. But by and large, the lineups that were super, super heavily duped were not amongst my highest ROI lineups there on FanDuel. So try to do what you can to be unique because that'll definitely help improve your ROI. That's a little run through of the slate. Covered DraftKings, covered FanDuel. If you guys have any questions at all for me, reply. And I'll try to get back to all the questions I can. If you want to sign up for our football package, which includes access to our contest generator and our pre-contest simulator, sign up using the link that I have posted below. And then, as always, if you could do me this one favor, like this video, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Only going to take you guys a couple clicks, and it does help me out a whole bunch. Helps keep the content free. Good luck with all lineups tonight, guys. I'll be back here on Monday to break down Monday Night Football.